I was
No. Hello, everyone. We're checking our teeth to
teeth
see
check. Okay, good.
if we've got some gloss or lipstick, because that's what happens all the time. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thanks for listening to the A Wife Like Me podcast. You are so loved if you are watching on YouTube. Hey, fun to see you. Man, this is so fun. Kelly Brinkman is with us again. She's here all year. Yay! Welcome, Kelly.
Thank you.
Yeah,
So fun that we get regular hangouts.
I
This
know.
is like the best coffee date, and I'm wearing pajamas on the bottom. I don't even need to leave my home. It's
You
great.
don't. No, I know. It's phenomenal. I do have jeans on today, which is weird because why? If I don't have to like go anywhere, even if I do, whatever. I usually wear my sweatpants. I don't
You
even care.
fancy. You
Side
fancy.
note, I know, it's so fancy. My mother-in-law like does not like that I don't wear jeans everywhere, and it is so funny. And now I just like to do it just to, just make sure she's paying attention, just get that
Help her.
heart rate going.
That's right. You can listen to our last podcast to learn how to keep your husband's heart healthy.
Yes, it's
Insider tips.
very important.
Right.
Very
I'm
important.
committed. Yeah.
Yes, very. So this is going to be a fun episode. We're in the new year, 2022, if you're listening at that time. And if you're listening and you're not watching on YouTube, you can't see what Kelly just put on her head. So you should probably head over there and check it out. You're amazing.
I'm ready.
You are so ready for the new year. And did you wear these New Year's hats on like New Year's Eve?
Oh, yes. We
Oh,
celebrated at 8:00 and we're in bed like 9.
that's
Like
amazing.
most
No,
exciting marriages.
it's
Yes.
the new year somewhere, right? That's
Right.
right.
Well, what I love is we're talking about this in February because, I mean, sometimes there's a lot of pressure to like get it all done in January. And I love that today is just kind of like a brush up, like, hey, let's revisit. Did you say you were going to do anything in the new year? Sorry, this is distracting. And how you doing on that? So I love this. I feel like this is a hug from Beth, that she's just saying, let's check in on that. And if you didn't, and you feel like you're having those feelings in the new year, like, wait a second, I missed something. It's like a redo. Go back and say, hey, let's be intentional. So This is one of my faves.
Yes, I know. So Beth Stefaniak, she was a contributor last year, and she wrote this great post on really like setting. I'm kind of weird with the word goal, if I'm completely honest, but like setting, like resolving to do or focus on something in your marriage this year. And I also love that we're talking about it in February because no matter what I also though love like reflecting on the past year, maybe, some things that were off or that you fell into a habit or a routine
or a rabbit hole.
Right. Like
Okay.
you fell into this rhythm didn't work, like isn't working. You need to get out, like just to reset and realign. I love that. But also, like you said, Kelly, we're like coming back in February, like we're gonna touch on this because I think too what Beth says is that when it comes to thinking about the year to come, we often forget about our marriage, which is like, duh, like so important outside of our relationship with Jesus. So why don't we talk about that? Why don't we think about this? So that's what we're going to do.
Yeah. Love that. She says, look at our best laid plans and our intentions. So I love going back to this. I know you kind of shy away from goals, but I'll take all of those for you. Okay. And put them into a 3-ring binder and for different subject areas. Okay. Because that's, makes me happy, brings me to a calm place. Okay. But I think it's important to look at, do I have a binder for marriage? I don't currently. Well, I mean, I kind of do because I have a binder with you. So you're in our marriage. It's weird.
Wait. Time out. I have a binder.
Oh yeah, you have a binder. Yeah, right here. Well, it happens to be Design My Day. If you have not checked this out, seriously, Amanda, I know that we're friends, but girl, when you had this, like I bought it to support the ministry, but like holy like wealth of info when I downloaded this. So yes, you have a binder. In fact, that's you on the front in this ribbed sweater.
Well,
And
there you go.
I love it because it really takes the whole year and kind of fans down. It feels like a retreat. Every time I open this, it feels like I literally go back in my mind's eye to the place where I sat down and went through this and said, okay, I want this year to be different. Now, mind you, I'm actually not all the way done because I had some like objections come up and excuses. And so I'm stopping and I'm dealing with those before just like plowing through and completing it because I don't think I'm required to turn it back into you. I didn't think it was like homework.
No,
So I thought you'd be okay with me
there's
like
no denying.
working through the things so that I can complete it with a whole heart. So
Okay, side again, like as you're talking about this. So one of the, I think I just realized why I don't like the word goal. I don't mind it, but I don't love it. But I think I realize why. Because I am a 7 on the Enneagram.
okay.
Because as you're talking about Design My Day workbook and that it helps you like with the year ahead, I'm like, oh no, 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 no. Like in my head, I'm like, it's seasonal. Like I need to I pull that thing out whenever a schedule changes, I gotta pull that thing out and like align my, design my day, redesign my day for whatever is going on. Or this, like if it's summer, kids are home, my schedule changes, whatever. But I think I tend to, you know, not I don't like restrictions. I'm a 7 on the Enneagram. I like fun. I like like I'm visionary. I don't want you to like if I am like tethered down by like a set thing, it makes me sweaty. So I think I try to protect myself and not set like very firm goals because then it just freaks me out. so,
Yeah,
so but if I'm whatever, isn't that funny? And
it
I
is.
just
But
don't
see,
thrive in
today
that.
so today we're not talking about goals. We're
Well,
just talking about
for some of you, maybe we are.
intentions
Yes,
and
yes.
what you hope for and what could you do to set those things in place. I'm trying to speak 7,
I know,
right?
I know.
As a 3-wing 4, I put the binder away. It's okay. Come back.
What might it look like if we were to think through the year ahead and refocus our intentions in
Right.
different areas? That's
Right.
much more open. It's so funny. Like
Right.
that's so.
There's no expectations.
Remember when
There's
we
n-
went to Minneapolis? Okay, so we went to Minneapolis last summer for a writers conference, and like,
as in you and me, we.
right, yep, yep, yep. So okay, so like the day, I think it was like the day we signed up for the conference, I get like a PDF. like, like here's just some helpful information, and I got the email. I read what she wrote, and I'm like, I cannot even open this because it'll stress me out. It's helpful for you, not helpful for me. I just love how we're all so different.
Right. It had some of the schedule information about when it starts
But
and that 'cause they weren't
some
super forthcoming with that. And
some of
so
the information.
I wrote it for them and for me. And then I shared it with you knowing you would go, I know that it's there. I don't need it until about 5 minutes
Before
before I pick Kelly up
Yes, and
from the airport.
actually not even because once I pick Kelly up from the airport, she'll tell me what I need to know, which is
And
great,
I had a printed copy for you. So
and she'll be with me so she can tell me where I need to go. It's great.
right.
So we're talking about our marriage in and like okay, I do again, I love what Beth says that we often forget our marriage when we're thinking through the year ahead. So that is a challenge in and of itself. What for you do you feel when you talk to the Lord about this and you ask him, even ask your husband, that's another challenge. Ask your husband,
Mm.
what would you like me to maybe work on this year as your wife? Or how can I love you more or differently or better in this next year? Like, what might that look like? It might feel super vulnerable, but you might really be surprised at his response. So I just love that.
Right. I frame it like, hey, we're going into the new year. Do you have things that you're hoping for? Maybe things we need to tweak that we could work on? Because it maybe feels too vulnerable for me to say, do you want me to do? So bless you. See, we're learning. We're learning.
Okay, one time though, like years ago, I remember the first time I ever did that. I asked him that. Guess what his response was?
I don't know.
He said, I don't know. And it kind of came to him quickly. He's like, I don't know. I guess when I come home from work, I would love it if you would be excited to see me. That's all he said. And I'm like, okay, is that it? Like, is there anything else? Or like, what else? And he's like, yeah, no, that'd be great. I
Oh,
was like, oh my gosh, I can do that, like, whoa, that's not what I thought he would say. Like, you're snappy, you have an attitude, you get cranky easily. Like, I would like to enjoy intimacy much more frequently than you, or whatever. Like things that I, fill in the blank or whatever. It's just
keep a snack pack with you at all times so that you don't get cranky. I'd like you to have a box of granola bars.
yeah,
Those are our expectations. But as she talks about how to strengthen marriage, she's like, don't be unrealistic. And I think you asking questions, or we as wives, we're right here with you, arms around you, asking, hey, help me to be realistic. And one of the ways we can do that is asking him so that we're not like stuck in our head thinking, you were like, okay, what do you want me to do? I'm ready. And then he said something that was actually really approachable.
absolutely. Or like, yeah, that's what we do so often is fill in the blank of what we think he is thinking about us or whatever, or the ways we fail. And so then we just insert that when that's not even what they want anyway. Yeah, I love that. Be realistic.
She also gives a nice out here, which I love. She's like, if you're feeling discouraged, slow down. So, right before the new year, I was throwing things off my calendar like dirty clothes out of a hamper because I was like, it is not slowing down enough. And I just felt like the schedule was crazy. So, I was trying to get things off my plate so that I could slow the pace. And one of our goals for this year, I try not to make posters and post them in the house of our marriage goals because, that could be intimidating, right? So, and weird. Let's just call it weird. We try not to say weird in our family. We try to say different. Okay. So that would be different on another level that Mark would like shut down. Like, this is my place to relax, not to set goals. So for me, one of my goals or one of my hopes is that we would have more regular date nights. So in order for that not to be realistic, or in order for that to be realistic, I sometimes have to slow down the number of things on our calendar so that I'm like, well, we can't go on a date this Friday night or Saturday afternoon because there's too many things on the calendar. So Beth gives us permission, slow the pace. Love that.
Yeah. Often that's what we need to do so that we can even do any of what we're talking about right now. It's like so often we're just so busy that we can't even work on our marriage. We're so busy with all the other things. That's a problem, friend.
Right.
That's a problem.
Give me all the margin.
Yep.
Margin of time and like even you and I meeting together, just setting aside that time to do it in extra time. That just makes it less stressful.
Right. So, yeah. She also says to, when you're thinking through what you could work on in your marriage this year or resolve to work on or focus on, Beth says, avoid being vague. So be specific. So she says, like her goal is to be more affectionate with her husband, but that's not actually really specific. So instead, she said the measurable goal could be initiating a kiss and a hug each day. And so that's really cool. And then when she even gets more specific, that I'll do this or aim to do this when he comes home from work and before we go to bed. So think through when and how often and what it actually will look like, because it helps you follow through and then see the result of that too, like in your marriage, more connection, what we all long for. Like, so it's helpful to move toward that.
Yeah. Those of you that have taken down your holiday decorations here in February, bless you. Okay. Those of us that still have a mistletoe hung, just keep that up. Okay. And if you already took yours down or you need a little sprig of rosemary, just tack that up over a door. As he enters the door, when you come in, you see that rosemary, mistletoe, what have you. Okay.
Mhm.
And put it above the door as a reminder. I use a lot of visual reminders. You know, I'm a visual kid. So I'm a potter. So I use just this simple little heart. And when I take my ring off to do the dishes, or I take it off before I go to bed, I know some of you sleep with it on. I don't, let's just pull that real quick. Okay. Let us know in the comments below. Do you take your ring off when you sleep or not? It's a hot topic among wives. So I do take it off. Seriously, my friends are super split on that. But I take it off and I put it here to remind myself to pray for him. And that was one of her last points, that in the same way I use a mistletoe to remind me, hey, go greet him with a holy kiss, you know? um, but then I use another visual reminder to remind me to pray for him, so that and pray for our marriage, that when I take that off, I try to pause a second and say a prayer. And then when I grab it and put it back on, it's another reminder.
That's helpful too. If you are thinking through something you want to focus on this year in your marriage, set a phone reminder too. Like,
Yep.
so helpful, so helpful. Beth
Yep.
also says to, when you think of this, what we're talking about, like think through, that's what I want to do, that's when I want to do it. Tell another wife about it
Yeah.
so that she can actually check in with you. Like, how's that going? Are you doing that still, or what? And you'll be really annoyed because you'll be like, I've forgotten to do it or whatever. And then it'll be like, okay, but thanks, because I need to get back on that and I want to. Um, so that's helpful
Yeah.
too.
She
Accountability.
tries to give you some tips for success, like set a time frame
Yeah.
and then establish a way that you're going to check in. Are you going to text or call or get together? Or, like you said, you set a reminder on your phone that might say, hey, don't forget about this goal. Or, hey, check in with Kelly about said goal. You know,
Yeah.
I like also setting a reward. So sometimes I picture celebrating, kind of what we were talking about at the very beginning. If I set a goal of like date night with Mark, X number of times a month, then I picture you and I sitting down and me saying, hey, let me tell you about that. We've been working on that for the last 3 months and this is going really well. And I want to be able to sit there and have that accountability and to tell you good things that happened out of it. So sometimes that motivates me by picturing the celebration that is to come and the outcomes. Like, we all want a better marriage because, P.S., if you're checking into a wife like me, you're like humble enough to say, hey, you know what? Until Jesus takes me home or God takes me home, we've still got work to do, both individually and then in our marriage, to continue to grow closer and learn more together. So if I continue to keep that in mind, that helps grant me better purpose throughout the day.
Yeah. I love that. Yeah. Just like that, more connection. That's what I want. So therefore
Yeah.
I will XYZ or whatever that is. It's like, oh yeah. Okay. That's what I want to do. Um,
Yeah.
and then Beth closes it out by just encouraging us to also remember that everything we do, and this is not just regarding our marriage goals or what we want to focus on, anything. It's, don't try to accomplish it on your own strength and wisdom.
Mm.
Hello, like ask God each day to give you the ability to stick with your goal, to focus on what you want to work on, to give you the energy and the heart to even follow through when you don't want to or feel like it.
Hmm.
And He will help you do that. I chat with so many different wives that often tell me the same thing at first. Like you said, if you're here listening, you already show a great level of humility. And then a typical follow-up question after like, yeah, but like hearing what we're saying is, I hear you, but like, you're saying that I just do these things and, what about my husband? What about me? Like, what is he going to do for me? And that is really where I believe like real humility comes in, is like, because of the way that God has loved us, because of what Jesus has done on the cross, therefore we will take the first step. Therefore we will respond in simply loving them because of God's great love for us, period. And as we actually live that out, that's Christianity. That's loving our neighbor, our husband, as we would ourselves. Like, that's just doing that because of his great love for us. And that reward might not be seen in or from your husband. It might be just in your own heart as you resolve to simply live out the gospel message of Jesus, which is loving God and loving others, and like seeing what God does in your heart and trusting him with that as you do this. So just wanted to say that in case someone's like, are you kidding me? Like, what about me?
Right. Well,
Yeah.
and we hear that message a lot from culture, but going back and measuring what we hear in culture to God's word and his character and who he is. And it does say that we're to go first. And so in my marriage with Mark, the person that I can control and the person I can affect change with most is right here, is
Yep.
me. And then turning over him to the Lord. Sometimes discerning what is important to us, we have to listen to our words. So Matthew 12, 34 here says, for the mouth speaks what the heart is full of. So sometimes sitting down with a friend and say, help me figure out what it is that I'm really trying to pinpoint in our marriage. Because when you have wise friends or a counselor that listens to you, they can help you say, what I hear you saying through all those words is that you're hurt, or you feel that you're not seen, or you wonder if you're loved. Go down and actually try to peel back the layers of that so that you can address the root issue. Don't make your goal about a checklist. Those fours out there or threes, whichever one of those it is. If you're super goal focused, don't make it about a checklist. Instead, make it about a heart issue. And
Yeah.
that happens when we step back. We throw some things off of our plate. We set aside time to really pray and ask God. Ask some wise women in your life to help you discern what you're really wanting, because no checklist is going to give you that deep level of satisfaction and connection with your husband, and most importantly, in your relationship with God.
Yeah. So true. You can do all the right things and still have a crap attitude.
Yeah.
You said it much more beautifully.
I think that's the message version. Yeah. What you just said. Thank you. Yep.
I would love to write a translation of my own scripture. It would be so funny because like how I read it is not what's happening, or not it's just comical.
Would it have some
she was like, what? Are you kidding? Oh no, you didn't. Like, that's my version. That would be my version.
Right. I don't know what we call that, but yeah.
The dramatic version of the dramatic. Yeah.
Will it have wide margins so that I can draw in it?
I don't know. We can figure that out later. Because I don't know yet. The details, just I don't know. I don't know.
No, stay with dreaming. Stay with dreaming. No pressure. Right.
Oh, ladies, this is so great. So Beth Stefaniak, thank you again. She is linked also in the show notes, so you can go and find her at messymarriage.com. Kelly is always linked. But and this blog post will be linked in the show notes as well. But Kelly, we always end out our podcast episodes with something that I have no idea what we're going to talk about. What is that today?
Does it scare you a little?
Always, every time.
Always, yeah. Well, today I was just wondering, like, we're deep into winter, and I'm wondering, favorite recipe. Like, get me through tonight, girl. What are you doing? What's an easy one? What can we do as wives?
Okay, I just actually brought over soup to our neighbor. So up here in Minnesota, there's a lot of snow and it's cold. So soup's like always, we're always making soup. So I have a really easy soup recipe actually. Well,
Okay.
two of them. But I told her because she wanted the recipe. You dump frozen veggies, like a bag of frozen veggies, you know. I usually do two. We're a family of five. I like leftovers because if I'm gonna cook, let's make it worthwhile. Let's eat it 2 days. So 2 bags of veggies, frozen veggies, in the crock pot. Saute garlic and onion. I do like 2 onions. Throw that in the crock pot. Brown beef, what is it called? Beef stew? The small cut up, you just buy them, whatever, they're small chunks of beef.
Yep.
Brown those, dump them in the crock pot. Then fill it up with beef broth till it covers all the things. And then just add a can of tomato paste into there and some bay leaves and let it simmer all day, and it's phenomenal. You can also get creative. You can add like barley, quinoa, whatever. But it's so good and it's hearty and it's got such a good flavor. That's it. Do you have
Love
one?
it. Love it. I do what I call trunk chicken. I know it might not sound appetizing, it being made in the trunk of a car, but I try to tell you always when you take a drink. Did that work?
Yes.
So also involves a crock pot because #winter. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes when like your friend's having a baby or maybe there's been someone who's just passed in their family or you want to take them a meal just to make them smile, I don't always have the time to prep that. But I do throw a loaner crock pot in my trunk. And then I drive me to the store and I get a 2-pound bag of frozen chicken breasts
Mm-hmm.
and some salsa and then all the fixings for tacos. So then I go out to my trunk, rip open said bag of chicken, dump it right in that crock pot and crack open that can of salsa and pour that over top, put that lid on, bam, we got dinner like in 6 hours. So then I drop it off friend's house. Hey, got this here for you. Do it in the morning. Just let that cook on low for 6 hours. Shred. Here's some hard shell tacos. Here's some soft shell. Here's some chips, some guac, salsa, whatever you're feeling. I didn't put in the beans because I don't carry a can opener, but I should maybe. But I didn't know if you like these kind of beans. Throw them in if you do. There you go. Everyone's winning because we're having tacos.
And
That's what
it's
I really
really
want.
good, huh? The chicken with the salsa, that's it?
Yeah, that's it.
Good.
I
It's
mean,
not
you
dry.
sound like you use spices, so I could aspire to. I'm
No.
sure you could put in some taco seasoning or something, but sometimes people don't like spicy. So I would probably genuinely leave that on the side. Like you can throw that in, or as I'm asking her, do you like that? Let me crack that open. Trunk
I
chicken.
I love it. I have not had good luck with chicken in the crock pot with just like not a lot of things like that. So I'm curious to try it. It's like tough and I want to try it. I'm curious now.
You can't cook it too long. I feel like it gets tinny, tastes
It
like
gets
aluminum
what?
foil. Tinny,
Tinny.
Tin. Yeah. Like tastes like aluminum foil if it's too long.
Got
So,
it. Maybe that's my problem. Maybe I cook the chicken too long. Hmm.
yeah, I tend to. But and if family of 5 you want leftovers, get the 3-pound bag. Go crazy. Put your loaner crock pot in and then do the same for yourself at home.
Yeah.
It spurs me to pray for that lady when I'm eating the same meal as she is. So, I'm going to try the soup though. So, thanks again. Always great
Yes.
takeaways. Thanks.
I know. Ladies, try it. Let us know how it goes. We love you. Man, go over to awifelikeme.com. Everything you need is there. Share this with a friend. Subscribe if you haven't. We are grateful that you care about your marriage and your faith, and we're here to support you. So let us know if there's anything we can do to do that. We're here for you. So hey, we will be back next week with an all brand new episode. So we'll see you there either on YouTube or wherever you like to listen to the podcast. So love you, friends. See you next week.
We're proud of you.
Yes, that we are. We love you. Bye bye.